welcome to another What's Sold video. This is going to be everything that's sold for the end of July, so that's July 22nd until July 31st. And I'm going to actually start with Depop because I made a Depop sale, and Moxie, of course, is down here as normal. Hi, baby. No, you don't want people to see your face? There it is. Alright, so I'm going to scoot over here. And I sold this hat. I paid, I believe, like $2 for this at an estate sale. It sold for $10 with free shipping. So did I make a lot of money on this? No, I made double my money, but I've had this for a while, and honestly, I was just super happy to see it go. So when I got the $10 offer, I immediately accepted and then was super happy when they actually paid, because if you did not know, Depop offers are not binding, so you just have to hope that they actually pay for it. It's kind of like eBay in that way, where you just kind of have to wait and hope they actually pay, because the offer is not binding. Super weird, but it's alright. Let's get over here. So the next item is Poshmark, and this is a pair of vintage Wranglers. These were made in the USA. They were black denim. I've talked about here on my channel how black denim moves really quickly for me. And I actually accepted like 2 offers on eBay for this, and then the person, well, one asked me to cancel because it was a mistake, and the other one just never paid for it. So it sold on Poshmark for an offer of $17, and I happily accepted that. I believe I got these half off at a thrift store, so they were only like $5, so I'm perfectly happy to do that. It sold for $17, so doubled my money. Decent sale. Again, black denim does really well for me. And now we're gonna flop one more time because I have lots of sales to share with you. This is a piece that got me so many likes and views and watchers on every platform that it was on. I do not know why at all, why this was so popular and yet nobody bought it. I think on Depop I was up to like 40 something likes on it. It was wild. But this is a shirt, just a casual button front shirt from the 80s. It is Kelly green and it was Irish linen. So I think maybe it was because it was Irish linen and the Kelly green color. I'm not sure if the brand really matters. It's Annette Dean, and I don't know why this got so much attention, but I'm really glad that it finally sold. And of all places, it sold on Etsy. It sold for my full asking price on Etsy of $18, and the buyer paid for shipping, so that was awesome. I will totally pick up Annette Dean Irish linen whenever I find it now, because of how much attention that this listing got on all the platforms that I put it on. So happy it's sold, and I don't have to continue to send out offers anymore on this one piece. Alright, now we're going to go over to eBay, because eBay is my main bay, and Miss Moxie is going to move one last time. I promise she's happy with this, because when I pick her up and move her over, it means I'm touching her, which is all she cares about. As long as I'm touching her, she's happy, and she's like headbutting my hand right now, which you guys can't see, but I promise she's doing it. So this is a pair of 90s Dockers. I do not recommend picking these up. I got these for free from my Aunt Diana and Uncle Lauren when they were clearing out their closet over the holidays. They gifted me a bunch of stuff. I picked out what I thought I could resell and then donated the rest. So Aunt Diana and Uncle Lauren, thank you very much. These were a pair of my Uncle Lauren's pants, and they were a 40-34 because he is a very tall man. It sold for my flash price of $14.87. This did not go to my Bronco fund because this was before I was doing that. So that's why you guys are seeing it here. This is Coolie Bar. Coolie Bar, I buy and sell whenever I find it. It sells both really well for men and for women. The sell-through is great for both, although of course it is a better sell-through for men. But this sold for $21.50, and this was new with tags, and I paid $3 and some change for this at a Goodwill. I've talked about how I like buying and selling vintage glass and ceramics in my area, because if they don't get sold, they get smashed and trashed. I like saving American pottery whenever I can. This is Shinego China in this beautiful little floral pattern. I paid 79 cents for this at a thrift store, and it sold for $6.87, so I still made $5 in profit, and I saved something from Cleveland Landfill. This is a piece from my giant vintage haul, so it's pure profit, which is why I was more than happy to let it go for $10. This is just a sheer blue top, just a basic piece. So again, at $10, I'm more than happy to let it go because I've already paid myself back for this, and I have so many pieces still to list. I wish you guys just knew how many pieces. You know what, maybe I'll include a little clip of like just how much is back here that I still need to list from this one haul. Is a lot. It's a lot. This is a recent estate sale find. I found a brand new bag of jockey underwear in a size 40. I decided to go ahead and sell them. I had really good luck and they sold quickly. The Tommy underwear that came in the men's thread-up box that I got for the Bronco, which if you haven't seen that video, I will link it up above. And so I thought, let's try this. They're new in the package and they sold also really quickly for $17. And I paid $1 for these at that estate sale, so nice. This is a Lucky Brand t-shirt. I picked this up at the bins, so I paid about $1 for this because it's $1.79 unless you get, you know, 50 pounds or 25 pounds. It's 20 pounds. If you buy 20 pounds, then it becomes $1.59 a pound. But I didn't get that much, so this was only $1. It sold for $12.87, and Lucky Brand items I will pick up at the bins because for $1, getting around 10 to 15 for them pretty quickly. Perfectly happy to do that. This is a vintage Chico's Travelers piece. I love buying and selling Chico's Travelers because, as I've mentioned, they travel in and out of my store super fast. This sold for my full asking price of $21.87, and I picked this up at a thrift store for $5. And this was a vintage piece made in the USA, so even the vintage stuff does just as well. The Travelers line is just really strong seller. This is a Battlestar Galactica book. I actually offered this on my Whatnot streams, so I do book Whatnots every Tuesday evening. So if you are interested, go ahead and follow me. There is a link down below if you're interested in hanging out and watching one of my book auctions. I offered it for $2 and nobody took me up on my offer. And so I sold it for $9.87. It's roughly $3.82 to send this book out, so I still made a very nice profit because I paid $1 for this at a thrift store. So I like buying and selling books because books mean a lot to me. If this is not something that you're interested in doing, making a quick, you know, $4 or $5 off a book, totally get it. You do you. I'm going to do me. I'm going to continue to buy and sell books. But if you are a reseller, I also offer a lot of books at a price that you could resell them for and, you know, at least double your money. Or get it for yourself to read. Again, your choice. This is a Met tie. I hadn't sold a tie in a while, so I'm really glad that this sold. This is an older tie that I had. This is the Metropolitan Museum is the Met, otherwise known as the Met. This is a silk tie. I do like picking this up if I can get it for $3 or less. This also sold for my full asking price of $9.87, except the buyers paid for shipping this time. So with the book, they don't, because I'm trying to do a promotion where you buy 3 books, you get the 4th one free. And so I'm slowly making all of my books free shipping to entice people to do that, which you will see towards the end of the video. This is a pair of Palooza pants. These are linen blend. These were new with tags. I picked these up a long time ago, very early in my days of reselling, to where I thought if it was new with tags, it would still sell. That is not correct, but I also had really good luck with Palooza pants. So I thought between being linen blend, being wide leg Palooza pants, and also being new with tags, that there was no way this wasn't going to sell. I was wrong. So I paid $5 for these at a thrift store, and they sold like 2.5 years later for a second time, because these actually had been purchased and then returned to me for fit. So I actually made no money off of this if you include that return. And I broke even. Super happy to get these out of my store. I will not be buying anything by Robert Louis ever again. But happy these are now no longer in my house, and happy to have broken even on these. It's another book that I offered in Whatnot for $3 because I do my hardcovers for $3 and nobody took me up on it. So it sold for $9 and the buyer paid for shipping this time. This is A Kiss Before Dying by Ira Levin, which is one of the leather collector editions, and I don't know why nobody wanted this. This is considered a classic, like, spy mystery book, I think, but that's not a genre that I typically read, but I thought that this book was absolutely beautiful, so that's why I picked it up, and I'm glad somebody else did too and paid me for it. I paid $1 for this at a thrift store. So this is a Talbot's piece. This is a beautiful merino wool cardigan that was flawless. It had this gorgeous dark floral rose pattern on it, and I knew when I picked this up that it was going to sell quickly, and I was correct, and it sold on an offer for $19.90, and the buyer paid for shipping. I paid roughly $4.75 for this. This is a dark floral skirt. I pretty much pick up any dark floral anything. That's not true. I pick up most dark florals, like if it's a really pretty pattern, because it sells pretty well for me. This is a 28-inch midi skirt, and it had pockets, and it was from the 80s, and it sold on an offer for $13, and I paid $4 for this at a thrift store. Another item that I picked up early on in my reselling career and did not realize that not all Torrid is equal. This is a cold shoulder dress, and it was a 00. I just saw it was Torrid. This, I think, is probably one of the first Torrid pieces I picked up, and I didn't quite understand how their vanity sizing worked. But it still eventually sold. It sold for my full asking price of $14.87, and I believe I paid $6 for this at a thrift store. I now know not to do this anymore, but again, I was just consuming a lot of reselling YouTube content early on in my career, and I saw the brand and thought that all of it is equal, and it is not. So learn from my mistakes. Torrid 00 will sell, but you'll have it for like 3 years, so maybe don't pick it up. Definitely not at $6. This makes me super happy that I have made money off of Walmart clothing. So No Boundaries is a Walmart brand, and I saw 2 vintage maxi dresses at an estate sale, the estate sale that kicked me out of, which I will link up above if you haven't watched it. I basically paid $2 a piece for these dresses, and this one sold for $14, and the buyer paid shipping. So I am super excited that I made like over 10 bucks off of a Walmart brand dress, which, to be honest, probably was around $14 when it was new in the 90s. So very happy. So I mentioned earlier that I'm trying to do the buy 3 get 1 free with books and media in my eBay store, and Lisa, thank you so much. I know I gave you a little card when I saw the order come through. She finally took me up on this offer, so somebody finally took me up on this offer, and it was a viewer, which made my day. You have no idea how happy I was when I saw this come through, because it was like, finally! Plus your message was lovely. So she actually purchased these 4 books for me. Well, she purchased 3 books for me, and then the 4th one was free. It was a vintage War of the Worlds and The Time Machine by H.G. Wells. It was a little paperback. Again, this was offered on Whatnot, and nobody took me up on it. And then also Murder in Retrospect by Agatha Christie. I know my friend Melissa, the Thrifty Broad, is a big fan of Agatha Christie. This was a 1977 paperback. I also offered that on Whatnot, and nobody took me up on it. I also found 2 of these Book Lover Diaries at the bins, so I paid 50 cents each for those. And she said that one's a gift for somebody. And then Low Man on the Totem Pole was a free to me find. So I really appreciate it. I'm so grateful. She paid $31.48, and you can see there that some of the books still had shipping on them because they were older listings that I hadn't changed yet. And it actually worked out really well because it pretty much cost that much to ship all of these books in a box to her. So I am so grateful to you, Lisa, that you took me up on my little promotion, and it brought me so much joy, and hopefully the books have brought you joy. This is something that benefited from Karen greatly. This is part of the Fix It Friday that I kind of have stopped posting. I've just kind of done the work, but not actually made the videos because it was interrupting my workflow. Should probably bring that back, but oh well. It sold for my full extra price of $14.87. It was just a plain LL Bean vintage made in the USA polo. I got this for $2 at an estate sale. I basically got a bunch of vintage t-shirts and some vintage LL Bean stuff and some other like women's tops for $2 each. Estate sale sourcing has been awesome for me the last couple years. And then this is another viewer sale. I have to thank Laura. Thank you so much. She is an active member in Matt's Discord, thrifting Discord, or reseller Discord, whatever you want to call it. And she saw my video and bought this as soon as she saw my video. This is an absolutely gorgeous embroidered little knit vest. I've talked about how I love picking up these vintage knit vests whenever I find them because they sell really well for me. This one was stunning. Like, it not only had regular hand embroidery, but it also had ribbon embroidery, and it had beadwork on it as well. So this was just stunning. Plus it was scalloped. It had scalloped edges as well. It was gorgeous. She paid my full asking price of $19.87. So Laura, thank you very much. I do very much appreciate you for buying this for me, and I'm so glad that I know it has a loving home. Alright, so this is a brand I get very excited whenever I find it because it consistently sells for more than $40 for me, and that is Geiger. G-E-I-G-E-R. It is an Austrian brand, and they specialize in wool clothing, and their stuff is very expensive, new, hundreds of dollars, if not thousands of dollars, depending on what piece it is. I have been lucky enough to find this a couple of times, and when I felt this and then I saw the little Geiger metal tag on it, because it has not only the Geiger label inside, but it normally also has a metal piece somewhere on the garment that says the brand, I was excited because I knew I had money. I paid $4 for this at a thrift store, and it sold for $46.64 pretty quickly after I listed it. Yeah, so I'm still selling wool skirts in summer for a good money. So Geiger is a great brand and definitely one I highly recommend. It has good sell-through, it's quality pieces, and it has a nice ASP. This is a tank top I actually bought for myself because I really liked the color and I liked the cut on the hanger. When I put it on, I did not like the way it looked on me, and I did not like the way it fit on me. So I went ahead and listed it. I actually only paid $3 and some change for this at a thrift store and sold it for $9.87. So you can still make pretty quick money on American Eagle. It just depends on the item and, you know, what your buy cost is. So this was great. Something that didn't work out for me ended up working out for me in a different way. This is another older piece. Again, I've talked about how vintage ceramics and glass get smashed and trashed in my area, so I do try to save as much of it as possible. This is from 1966, and I know that because it was dated by the lovely lady that hand painted this. Which was popular in the mid-century area, like pottery painting parties have been around for forever. So that's probably what this came from. This sold for $10. I've had this for a few years, so when I saw an offer come through, I was more than happy to let it go. And of course the buyer had to pay for shipping. So I'm really glad that this beautiful vintage bud vase has found another home where hopefully it will stay for another, 60 some odd years. Speaking of some odd years, this is a vintage 1970s piece. This was a Miller Western wear pearl snap shirt, and I pick up vintage pearl snaps whenever I find them. I pick up most pearl snaps in general when I find them. There are only a couple brands that I don't really pick up, and I really love buying and selling them because they normally move pretty quickly for me. This sold for $18.30, and I only paid $4 for this at a thrift store. So this is another great sale for me. So when I find a lot of dishware or china, depending on both the sell-through rate and comps, are determined whether or not I sell it either as lots or if I sell it as replacements. So if I'm selling it as lots, I would sell it as, okay, here are 4 bowls from this dishware and it is this price. If I sell it as replacements, I make a multi-variation listing and I make each item type a different variation in the listing, and I price each accordingly. And so that way if someone, they're missing 2 bowls and a plate and like a mug, they can just add all of those to cart and check out, and then I normally have buy more save more on, so they'll get a discount the more pieces that they buy. And that has worked out very well for me, and that has worked out very well for this listing. I actually just keep adding more as I restock it, and it's great, and that is because this is vintage Arcaroc, I think. It's made in France, and it's this black glass, and it has a very interesting octagon shape, which is why it's called Octime. And I have sold many pieces out of this, but this is a great sale. They ended up buying 5 dinner plates and 5 salad plates, and the total amount that they paid was $103.70, plus they paid $39 in shipping. I did end up refunding them $10.30 of the shipping back after I packed everything up. But I did get positive feedback from this because they were like, you did an amazing job shipping this. I can't believe how well everything was packed. I always get nervous like buying glass on eBay, but this seller did a great job, so that made me feel really good inside. And this was an amazing sale. I paid roughly $1 or less for each piece in this set because I found 3 plates for $1 each at the Restore, and then I also found a big milk crate of these for like $14. So this particular set has sold very well for me. And that actually is the last sale I have to share with you guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. Sales have been good, even though I've, at this point when this video has come out, taken 2 mini vacations for the summer, but sales have been steady and I am very grateful for that. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Until then, bye! Bye!